Hello everyone, my name is Gursimran and I'm a technical analyst. This video is my latest video in my weekly roundup of the top 3 trending stocks of the week. As everybody who follows us and has been with us since the beginning of this series, we use the dashboard of in.quantil.io to identify the top trending stocks of the week for a video every week. For the purpose of the video this week, we'll be covering Hfcl, Clean, and Route. These are the 3 stocks that we will be covering इस हफ्ते के हमारे वीडियो के लिए. Of course, हमारा निफ्टी का भी एक लास्ट वीक का डिस्कशन का रिकैप and we will also be analyzing Nifty for this week. Before we get into all of that, let me clarify that this video is meant purely as educational and purely for educational and entertainment purposes. This is not to be considered as financial advice. With that, let's dive into the analysis for this week. So if you see the video that I pushed out last week, I had mentioned that Nifty is trading within a very strong resistance zone, and I had mentioned that on the hourly chart time frame, the momentum looked bearish. This was around last week's close was around here. This last bearish candle was where the week closed. In my video, I mentioned that there is a possibility that we might go up, but 18,340 level would act as strong resistance, which is what has happened. We managed to go to 18,340, and from then it's been a clear downtrend. I had pointed out as 17,770 as my target for the retracement, but Nifty seems to have pulled back a lot more. Zooming out onto the weekly chart, we have closed with a very bearish weekly candle, which has engulfed the last week and a lot of the week before that. We need Nifty to hold above this mentioned level over here. I will just mark it on the chart. So we need Nifty to hold above this level if we are to expect bullish continuation in the market. But as things stand, things really are not looking good. We would want the monthly close to happen above the all-time high Nifty monthly open line that I've drawn over here. So that's about Nifty. Going into the stocks that we discussed last week, the first stock that we looked at was Gnfc. In my video, I had mentioned that Gnfc is nearing a mega supply zone, which I've drawn in the red box above. And I had also mentioned that we can expect some pullback over the week. The stock managed to go up, but as you can see, it looks like it is rejecting from this supply zone. Waiting to see what happens, but considering that the level of retracement that happened in the index, the stock has held up fairly well. So I have my eye on this particular stock to see to get an entry into this, but I will only do that once I see proper signs of reversal from Nifty. The next stock we discussed was Hfcl, for which I had mentioned that the chart had broken out and had been trading around this level. So even if you look at the weekly chart here, we managed to push up, which I mentioned that could happen, but due to the pullback that happened on the index, the weekly candle that we see here is a very bearish candle, and I would wait to see what happens next. As I said in my last week's video, I would look to sort of enter this stock somewhere around 140 to 135 range and have a stop loss around 122, because overall this looks bullish considering the way things are in the rest of the market. Looking at Punjab National Bank, I mentioned in the last week that while the local downtrend seems to be broken, the monthly candles were looking very heavy, and even the weekly candlestick patterns are not very encouraging last week, as I mentioned in my video. And if you see here in this week, we have closed a bearish engulfing candle over the previous week. So I expect this stock to continue in this large accumulation zone for a little while longer. Coming to the 3 stocks for this week, we'll start with Hfcl. Coming to the monthly chart. So Hfcl managed to break this really important resistance level and has been trading above it for a long time now. But if you look at it clearly, we haven't had a clear retest of this level since the breakout happened, actually, right? So if you look at the weekly chart, this weekly open level has posed as resistance throughout the last few months, last at least 6 months, right? And we see that there's been a strong rejection. The price tried to creep above it, but there's been a strong rejection and we've been sent back down into the channel. This is what I typically call a swing failure pattern, and I generally look for short positions in situations like these. However, the stock is at a support level, and I would still, personally, if you ask me, I'll go down to the daily chart and I'll just mark the level that I'm looking to buy the stock at. So 45.05, this is the level which I'm looking at for this particular stock. I will be looking to buy this stock depending on the reaction I see there, or I will look to buy this once I see a weekly candle close above 93. Otherwise, I'm not interested in trading. Coming to the next stock for our discussion today, which is Clean Science and Tech Limited. The chart does not have a lot of data, to be honest. So the technical analysis has a little less probability of being right in situations like this. But from whatever data we have on the daily chart, we see that this chart has been following this ascending channel very, very well over the last few days. And it is at channel trendline support, so it should ideally bounce from here. But if we look at the monthly candle, it's ideally, I don't see any like major bearish signs on this chart as of now, except the weekly candle that just closed. But if it's interesting to see what happens to this channel trend line. If we break it and we see a bounce and we again lose the retest, I would look to exit this stock if I'm already in. Personally, not interested in trading this because I'm not aware of the fundamentals behind it, and there's no real data to basically trade on. Coming to the next stock for our today's discussion, which is Rao. So if we look at, I'll go to the monthly chart quickly. So if we look at this chart, it has tested this monthly support level 1720 multiple times and managed to bounce every single time. I think that the candle that we're seeing here on the weekly chart, unlike the stocks that we have discussed, is not a bearish engulfing candle. And if we zoom out a little bit on the daily chart, we can see that there is a trend line over here, which this has managed to break a local downtrend. And this can be looked at as a retest of that particular downtrend. And if the price manages to sustain above this level, does not form a lower high, then I would look to trade. But personally, the chart pattern again is a little bearish. And usually, to be honest, whenever the price starts trading to the right of an ascending channel like this, it is a textbook bearish price action, right? So I'm going to look to sort of wait and see how this develops and have some cheeky bids around rupees 1153. I think this, if this stock starts to see correction, this would be an area where I would be interested to sort of look at buying this. So that's about it for our analysis of this week. If you like our content, make sure you do subscribe to our channel and hit the like button for this video. Please feel free to share your comments in the comment section, and any feedback is appreciated. See you guys next week. Until then, stay safe and take care. Bye bye.